Beyond the Ultimate Race Series is one of the outdoor activities that pushes fitness enthusiasts' endurance to the limit. The race sees, among others, athletes walking 230 kilometers, and wait for it, through Arctic mountain landscape. Let's speak to some of them as to why they do it and how they train and prepare for something that is both physically and mentally grueling. So let's welcome to our program Nick Denoon, Taryn Gordon, Paul Venter, and Andre Erasmus. To all of you, well done, congratulations on being able to complete. Nick, I'd love to kick off with you. When we think about what's required, it is a trial of your mental and physical strength. You've got the wonderful Arctic mountainous area that you need to walk through. It's through some very harsh terrain. You've got wind and snow. There are frozen lakes and forests. I very much would like to be watching this via my television screen. Why on earth are you doing it? It sounds like hell to me.
We all get asked that question many, many times, and I think the only answer we seem to all come up with is because we can. Not sure whether that suffices, but it sort of seems to be what comes to mind. I think we all love challenges. I speak for myself. We love our different challenges, as you'll hear from the others. And this was just one that came up that we knew would push us way beyond what we'd ever done before in terms of preparation and the environment and the fitness needed. And then really as a team, we came together and used our different strengths, did a lot of research so we knew what we were getting into, and spent a good part of a year preparing for the expedition and the run that was. That's why it was so successful as a team.
It's a team sport then, and I'm wondering, Taryn, if I can go to you, how you do that. Everyone has different aptitudes, different specialities and levels to deal with. One can only imagine what happens in a normal circumstance, but here, you would have challenges of dealing with the climate and the altitude, I suppose, the oxygen levels in the air. So just walk us through how you actually prepare and begin to build that cohesiveness as a team.
Well, to be completely frank, very difficult to prepare for a race like this when you live in South Africa. We literally ran on the beach, thick sand, snowshoes. We spent a year trying to put our nutrition plan together, but extremely difficult to prepare yourself for these conditions. I mean, the Arctic Circle is one of the most unforgiving environments that a human can put themselves into. And it really bottoms down to good physical fitness and your mental state. You need to have a strong mind.
I can only imagine because, when I'm at the gym, trundling along on the treadmill in the few and rare days that I do actually get there, I can't wait to get off. And it seems, that when I push my body to the limit, I just want some kind of relief. So, Andre, how do you build the mental capability, the psychological prowess to be able to take on something like this when I imagine at many different points your body is saying, just make it stop?
I think I've done a few of the single-day races in the past, and if you do ultra distance, you're going to hit the wall a few times, and that only that happens when it's just normal conditions. So now you add the extreme cold and the uncertainty of how you're going to react in that conditions. You add to that. I think it worked quite well that we were a team of South Africans. We were looking out for one another. Some of us ran together. And we got we got each other through some of the difficult times that we did encounter. So yes, I think, brutal and amazing. That's my two words that I use to describe this.
Brutal and amazing. So, Paul, let me come to you. As Andre and the others have been saying, this is, if not the, most grueling race of its kind in the world, then it certainly ranks amongst the top of the toughest ultra races in the entire world. And we know that it attracts a number of crazies like you. And I mean crazies in the best sense possible, because really, it's really remarkable what you're able to do in terms of pushing your bodies to that elite level. What was it like meeting, I don't know if you had time to socialize, what was it like meeting other athletes just like you from around the globe?
I find it very interesting. It's a whole bunch of very like-minded people, all slightly out of whack, but I think we all fit in very well in that group. We had a few jokes on the event that, we talk about normal people and we view ourselves as normal people, but I think most people won't view us as normal people. But yeah, there is time for socializing. You out on the route, you spend time with a very limited number of people. You're often on your own for long periods of time. But in the mornings, in the evenings, in camp, there's a lot to share with people. A lot of amazing experiences, and also a lot of suffering, a lot of mental pushing through physical hurdles, and that creates a very strong bond amongst all the participants.
Undoubtedly, because I can only imagine that you need to depend on each other, even beyond the physical, but for that psychological support. So, Nick, I want to ask you, we were speaking in a very light-hearted way about this amazing accomplishment that you've managed to achieve. But the victory is really told in the detail and in the minutiae of each minute, each day, as you're edging towards your goal. What were some of the hardest moments for you, and what did it take to transcend that?
It's a great question. I think some of the hardest moments are, as Andres said, when you hit that sort of that dark patch, that wall, when it's no longer fun. It is beautiful and always was, but you're in such a sort of state of pain, of physical exertion, and there's just nothing left in the tank. And that's the hard part. And often that came in quite dark conditions, physical dark conditions at night. And we were lucky that some of us had team members and others had others along the way where we could just pull each other through. And I think you mentioned it earlier, and I think for me that was, as Andre said, about beautiful and painful and the journey we went through. For me, it was around seeing those minute by minute, as you described it, as incremental gains or losses. That ability to pick the right path, to choose when to put your snowshoes on, to put an extra beanie on or extra jersey on, or take one off to let heat out. Those minute by minute decisions or 10 minute by 10 minute decisions, as they are in life, incrementally add or incrementally really start to hurt you, get blisters, pain, and could end your race or help you succeed.
I mean, feet are everything. Your extremities are everything in races like this. You've got to really take care of them. Pain, Nick, you talked about exertion, depletion. It's dark. Taryn, I want to ask then, so what do you win? What do you win? You go through all of this suffering. You go through all of this, kind of testing of yourself and your abilities. What's in it for you at the end?
Yeah, it's a fantastic question, that, because it's really just self-accomplishment. It's pushing yourself to the absolute beyond and being able to know what you're capable of, because you really do hit dark moments. I mean, my day 4, I can actually say that I think it almost broke me, but it didn't. Nutrition's key. But I think really at the end, it's that self-accomplishment, knowing that, wow, this is what I'm capable of, this is what my body can do, this is what my mind can do, and I think that's what you win. And also finishing with all your friends, when everyone crosses that finish line, that moral support, that friendship, I mean, we create strong bonds, and for me, that's special. That's good.
Guys, you really are so inspirational. I mean, for everyone at home who lives vicariously through you in encountering this extreme weather and being able to push your body beyond the limits we thought were capable, I think is really, it is inspirational for people who think I can't, and through you we believe that we can. I want to go to, as we begin to close things off, Andre, talk to me about support and sponsorship. This can't be a cheap thing to do.
Yes, I think cumulatively the amount of money we spend on this would probably give a small country's GDP a run for its money.
A very small country, hopefully.
No, maybe not that small.
All right, so a lot is needed, right? You need a lot of resources.
Yes, yes, it's an expensive race, and also I think all of us, sort of the first round of kit we bought, we realized, oh dear, that was not the right purchases, and we had to go and purchase things again. And then there was the panic shopping that we did when we got to Lulia and Galevare, where we realized, oh, well, there's a few last minute things that we still need. So yes, luckily, like I said, we had each other, so we could compare notes and compare kits and send suggestions. So it was sort of a group effort to sort out all the kit and to make sure that everybody's got the correct stuff to deal with the conditions.
Yeah, and who's bringing the toilet paper and the wet wipes? Anyway, Paul, maybe one of the final questions to you is advice. I mean, as Andre is saying, even experts and well-seasoned athletes like you guys can, forget things, really important things in the kit. So people were looking at this and saying, Ice Ultra, the next time it comes around, I'm taking part. What would you like to share with them?
Yeah, for us, it was a very, very tricky event to plan for because none of us had experienced the cold. So it was very much a theoretical exercise of, trying to determine what you will need. The event is very good in putting participants in touch with participants who's done this in previous years. So you can gain a lot of knowledge from people who's been through the event. They share real life experiences. They give advice on kit. So for anyone who is thinking of doing this, get in touch with the organizers, get in touch with us as previous runners. We're more than glad to share what we've experienced, to share advice, share ideas on kit, what works, what doesn't work.
Lovely.
So it's a very accommodating community and the community that shares information gladly.
I love that. I love the sense of community. Nick, a 20-second squeeze in for you. Why should anyone do this crazy thing?
It teaches you that you can push your boundaries way beyond whatever you thought was possible and what you believed your limits were. And that's definitely why I would encourage someone to do anything like this, is just to keep pushing their boundaries.
Thank you so much to Andre, Paul, Taryn, and Nick. I'm just looking under the desk here for my tackies because I think that's where I'm going to go next. That's how much you guys have inspired me today. Thank you so much for coming through. Good luck for the next one, and may you continue to push those boundaries and inspire the country.